The world trembles as midnight falls across the Pacific. The air hums with tension, and distant flashes of light streak through the sky like falling stars. Within minutes, radar stations from Hawaii to Hainan detect a pattern no one ever wanted to see: simultaneous missile launches, fighter deployments, and satellite shutdowns. The unthinkable has happened. The first 24 hours of the US and China war have begun, and the planet is instantly thrown into chaos. For decades, world leaders feared that one mistake could ignite global conflict, but now fear has turned to fire. Every nation watches in silence as two superpowers unleash the most technologically advanced militaries in history against each other. On the open sea, the exterior of the conflict erupts in terrifying beauty. The U.S. aircraft carriers in the Pacific roar to life, launching squadrons of F-35 Lightning II jets into the night. The decks are glowing with red and white lights as pilots climb into cockpits knowing that each mission could be their last. In the distance, waves are torn apart by the launch of Tomahawk cruise missiles, streaking toward Chinese radar installations and command posts. The ocean, once calm, becomes a field of smoke and thunder as explosions ripple across the horizon. The Chinese Navy responds instantly. Type 055 destroyers fire back, sending waves of DF-21D anti-ship missiles toward the American fleet. The sea becomes a graveyard of steel and flame, where technology and courage collide in a contest of speed, precision, and survival. Overhead, the skies fill with the echoes of modern warfare. Hypersonic missiles cut through the upper atmosphere at unimaginable speeds, invisible to radar until the final seconds. American stealth bombers penetrate deep into Chinese airspace, striking communication hubs and radar towers. Chinese J-20 stealth fighters rise to intercept them, locking targets in dogfights above the clouds. The world's most advanced weapons are finally being used not for deterrence, but for destruction. Satellites orbiting Earth capture the devastation in real time before being jammed or shot down by anti-satellite weapons. The stars themselves seem to fade as debris fills the sky. Inside the war rooms, the interior of this confrontation is cold and calculated. Beneath the Pentagon, generals and analysts hunch over glowing screens, tracking every signal, every intercept, every loss. AI-driven algorithms predict enemy movements within seconds, while human decision-makers struggle to control the chaos. Thousands of miles away, deep within underground bunkers in Beijing, Chinese commanders issue countermeasures with the same precision. The silence between orders is deafening. Each nation's leaders know that every strike could trigger escalation beyond control. The tension in those rooms is heavier than the bombs falling outside. It is a war of intellect as much as firepower, a chess match where every move carries the weight of millions of lives. The performance of both militaries reaches levels the world has never seen. The United States deploys its full technological might. Cyber warfare divisions infiltrate Chinese networks, shutting down communication relays and redirecting missiles mid-flight. The U.S. Navy's carrier strike groups coordinate with submarines lurking unseen beneath the waves, each carrying enough firepower to flatten cities. China counters with speed and strategy. Their performance lies in coordination and deception. Dozens of decoy signals, stealth drone swarms, and AI-guided defense systems designed to overwhelm American sensors. Hypersonic gliders maneuver unpredictably, evading traditional interceptors. The pace of warfare is so fast that human reaction alone cannot keep up. Machines now decide life and death within fractions of a second. The safety systems designed to prevent this kind of conflict are pushed to their limits. Across the Pacific, the United States activates its missile defense networks, Aegis systems aboard destroyers, THAAD launchers on island bases, and satellites scanning for nuclear signatures. Alarms echo across the Pacific as interceptors streak into the sky, attempting to stop incoming projectiles before they hit. China's own defense network responds in kind. From hidden bases in the mountains, long-range radar stations detect and track foreign aircraft. Laser defense systems attempt to blind American drones and missiles. Both sides scramble to protect their people, but the reality is brutal. No system is perfect. Entire fleets vanish in flashes of light. Civilians watch in horror as cities along the coasts lose power and communication. The idea of safety becomes an illusion as the scale of destruction grows. The unique features of this war are found not just in weapons but in philosophy. The United States fights for global presence, to maintain the balance of power that has defined the modern world. Its doctrine is built on precision strikes, rapid mobility, and alliance coordination. Bases in Japan, South Korea, and Guam come alive as soldiers prepare to defend Allied territories. China fights with a different doctrine. Its strength lies in proximity, unity, and preparation. For years, it has built underground facilities, cyber units, and strategic missile silos designed for exactly this confrontation. Their strategy is total control, dominate the information space, blind the enemy's eyes, and strike before being seen. In this war, technology is the weapon, but information is the ammunition. The economic price of the conflict escalates by the hour. Stock markets around the world crash within minutes of the first strikes. Oil prices skyrocket as tankers are rerouted away from conflict zones. Supply chains crumble overnight, cutting off the flow of electronics, fuel, and food. Satellites that once guided civilian navigation are destroyed or jammed, grounding flights and halting shipping routes. In the first day alone, trillions of dollars evaporate. The psychological price is even higher. Fear spreads faster than missiles as nations brace for the unthinkable, nuclear escalation. Social media fills with panic, misinformation, and live footage of burning cities. For the first time since World War II, humanity faces the possibility of global collapse in real time. In Washington and Beijing, leaders confront a haunting reality. Neither side can win without losing everything. Diplomats scramble to open communication lines through neutral nations, but mistrust runs deep. Cyber attacks continue to strike power grids and media outlets. False alarms of nuclear launches ripple through defense systems, forcing generals to make decisions within seconds. The line between truth and error blurs dangerously. The fear of miscalculation grows stronger than the fear of the enemy. The world holds its breath, waiting for one leader to step back before the next strike crosses the final boundary. Meanwhile, across Asia and the Pacific, the human toll becomes impossible to ignore. Cities near the South China Sea are engulfed in flames. Ships sink beneath the waves, leaving survivors clinging to wreckage as the ocean burns around them. Fighter pilots eject into hostile skies, their parachutes glowing orange under the reflection of distant fires. Families watch live broadcasts until the power fades and the screens go dark. No one is untouched. The war has no front line, it stretches across the sky, sea, and cyberspace, consuming everything it touches. As the hours pass, exhaustion begins to set in. Both nations realize that the pace of combat cannot be sustained. Ammunition reserves dwindle. Networks collapse. Command structures strain under the weight of constant pressure. The first signs of hesitation appear in both camps. Field commanders request ceasefires to recover the wounded. Medical ships navigate through minefields to rescue survivors. But distrust remains, and even moments of silence are haunted by the possibility of another strike. By the 20th hour, the world has changed forever. Satellite imagery shows entire regions plunged into darkness. Oil rigs burn in the South China Sea. Ports in Taiwan and the Philippines are reduced to smoking ruins. Even countries not directly involved begin mobilizing for self-defense. The United Nations calls an emergency session, but the assembly floor is half empty. Many delegates are sheltering in underground bunkers. The digital world is fractured, communication between continents delayed or disrupted. Humanity, once connected by technology, now finds itself isolated by it. In the final hours of the first day, an uneasy silence spreads. Both sides pause to assess the damage. The United States has lost ships and aircraft worth billions. China has seen major bases reduced to ashes. Casualties rise into the tens of thousands. Economies crumble. The sheer cost forces both nations to confront the futility of what they have started. There is no victory, only survival. Behind closed doors, secret negotiations begin through third-party nations. Messages are exchanged, not of surrender, but of survival instinct, a recognition that another day of war could mean the end of civilization itself. As dawn rises over the Pacific, the world looks different. The skies are still hazy with smoke, the seas littered with debris, but for a brief moment, the firing stops. The first 24 hours have left humanity scarred and shaken. It is no longer about dominance or ideology, it is about preventing extinction. Leaders on both sides begin to realize that their nations, no matter how powerful, are fragile in the face of mutual destruction. The war that began with arrogance and fear ends its first day in exhaustion and uncertainty. The lesson is brutal but clear. The technology designed to keep peace has now brought the world to the edge of ruin. The race for power has proven that strength without restraint is suicide. What was meant to demonstrate superiority has revealed weakness, the inability of human pride to coexist with machines built for destruction. The first 24 hours of the US versus China war will forever be remembered as the moment when humanity finally saw the mirror of its own madness. The fire, the fear, and the silence that follows will echo through generations. In the end, the only thing left standing is the truth that survival, not supremacy, is the greatest victory of all.